Hey guys, Zack, so Scottsdale here. Are you thinking about hosting a Airbnb? Or do you live next to one and you are annoyed? Well, in this video, we're going to talk about all this kind of stuff, the actual rules. There's city licensing I'm going to talk about. There's $500,000 liability insurance I'll talk about. There's neighborhood notifications that are required I'll talk about. And what counts as a nuisance party. And I'm not talking about the college days. Those were good, weren't they? But I'm going to show you all this information and how to check on the status of your Airbnb or maybe the one you live next to, and also who to call. I'm going to break it all down for you, and I'm going to have all the links below in the description for the city websites and the city rules so you could see it all for yourself. All right, let's get started on this video now. Okay, what's legal versus what's not legal? Short-term rentals and vacation rentals are allowed in Scottsdale. The state law allows them, so Scottsdale has to allow them. The city has not banned them, but they did put a limit on how many there is allowed. Now, you gotta still follow the city rules, just like a regular house. You gotta follow the rules in a normal house. The short-term rental has the exact same rules. They can't ask for exemptions on just because it's a rental for noise restrictions, music, guests, on-street parking. It's all the same. So if there's no parking on a street because there's HOA, if it's a short-term rental or Airbnb, same rules apply. You can't park on the street just because they're guests. Now, not allowed anywhere in rentals or primary residence. Very loud parties. Unlawful gatherings, and of course criminal activities. Those aren't allowed in any of the short-term rentals or regular houses. Number 2, you must have a city license if you're renting for less than 30 days, meaning that's considered short-term rental, which most Airbnbs are. If you go over 30 days, it's considered long-term. You don't need that license. But if you're gonna do short-term rentals, you need a license. It's around $250 per property. You need one per property. So if you have 3 Airbnbs in Scottsdale, you need 3 licenses, and they're around $250 per license. It's an annual license. And you must have it before you list or host your property here in Scottsdale. Number 3, the 3 big owner requirements. And this is after all your state steps and whatever is required by the state. That'll be a whole nother video. We're talking city here. So here are the 3 requirements that the city requires. The first one, neighborhood notifications. You must mail a notification within 30 days of receiving your city permit to adjacent and diagonal neighbors of the single family home, or if it's a multi-unit, you gotta mail to your whole bottom floor with a 24/7 emergency contact. So it would either have to be your phone number, or if you have a property management, it would be their phone number, but it has to be a phone number that someone answers. It can't go to a voicemail. It has to be either answering service or someone actually there. So that is required. B is a $500,000 liability insurance policy. You need one. C, post the requirement safety notice. Now this, you might have seen them before if you stayed in Airbnbs. They're usually behind the door or different spots. It usually tells the rules of what you can and can't do. Now this in Scottsdale must be posted with the short-term rental notice rules in 14-point bold print or font, and it's got to be laminated or protected, so either in plastic or in a frame behind glass, and it has to be inside the front door and the primary backyard door with the locations on there of the safety gear and waste rules, so meaning trash, what to do with trash, when to take it out, all that stuff, and safety gear. What happens? Where's the safety gear at? That's like fire extinguishers, all that kind of stuff. So it needs to be all really clear and simple. Okay, number 4, the state and county steps you can't skip. Now, first you need to get an Arizona Transaction Privilege Tax, TPT, it's called, license. You'll own that TPT, and you owe a bed tax. You'll need the TPT number to apply for the city license. That's fun to say, on TPT. Also, you got to register this property with the county, Maricopa County, assessors, and again, the link is below. I know that this is getting a little dry, but that information will be below. But that's where you got to start. Start there, and then you go to the city.
Let's go!
Okay, number 5, occupancy and use limits. Scottsdale defines a max family size of 6 adults plus related children, dependent children, in any dwelling, including a short-term rental. So they don't want people to run these houses as, you know, banquet spaces, retail, event centers, and sometimes the short-term market will run it like that. They will try and allow parties and, 40 plus people staying in the house. You're not supposed to do that. And it actually aligns with Arizona's short-term rental law as well. So again, to watch out for that if you are planning on renting. You can't get it too big, too many people. It's not good. And if you live next to one that has too many people, well, now check the link below. There's a rule right there that states they can't have that many people. Uh-oh. Number 6, nuisance parties and noise. This is probably the biggest complaint from neighbors because, we all get it. When you're on vacation or you're out somewhere, you might be here in Scottsdale for the golf tournament or Barrett Jackson or spring training. Lots of events here. So if you're here, you want to have a good time. You came here from, who knows, New York or something, and you're here to have a good time with your friends. But here's the thing. If you're going to be loud, a hotel might be better, because then at least it's kind of, you're around the same people. In these Airbnbs, what happens is a lot of people will get loud, and that's the biggest complaints is the noise and late noise because of neighbors. You might be living next to a 70-year-old woman who likes to complain. Her name's Karen. Or you might be living next to a Kevin who likes to complain. So if they complain, it's gonna be problems. You can only get so many complaints. There's actually a house behind me, over one, that's an Airbnb, and I hear it sometimes. But half time I want to go join them. It looks like they're having fun, but I see both sides of it. So if it's unlawful gathering, those rules apply. It doesn't matter if it's owner occupied or rental. It's the same. You can't have too much noise. Think of if you're disturbing someone, or unsafe crowds, or public drunkenness, or litter. All that is going to be a problem if you own an Airbnb, or if your tenants are having problems with that. And the property owner can be held accountable on repeat events. So it's just a big one for owners of the Airbnbs and the short-term rentals. So the biggest advice is for the host to include quiet hours and patio rules in their house manual. Real big. I've seen it at some, and it says real big on the top, quiet hours. Quiet hours from 9 p.m. to whatever, 6 or 7 a.m. and then patio rules, music off at this time. You got to put those rules in there so the tenants will understand and be respectful of the other people, because you don't want your business to fail, and that's what it is. Airbnb short-term rental is a business for you, so you don't want it to fail. So you got to put those rules in there to keep people at bay. Okay, number 7, how neighbors and hosts check status or get help. Now this is again, this gets kind of gray, gets a little pushy here. You got to be careful with everybody. We want to respect each other, right? But to see if a property is licensed or find the 24/7 contact or emergency contact, use the city's short-term rental resource city map. Here's the link right here. Here's the map. You could click on this link, or again, it's down below, and this will show you if they are licensed or not, and the contact information. If behavior does not improve with the emergency contact after you called them, and say an hour later it's still loud, then you call the Scottsdale Police non-emergency number, and that's this number. It's on the screen here, 480-312-5000. So that's for bigger issues, if it's, you can't take anymore, like, trash or lights or extremely loud noise at 2 a.m. or something like that. And that's Scottsdale code enforcement through their police department. They will check into it, and they might even send the police out there. So hopefully it doesn't get to that, but that is the information. I'm just spreading the information here. This is a tough one, not the funnest one, but I'm just putting the information out there. Okay, number 8, quick mistakes that hosts get in trouble. It's easy to slip as a host because you're not focused, and you might be a little bit easier on this or on that. So I get it again. Here's the mistakes. Listing before you get your state license. You might be eager to get people lined up, so you list that on the Airbnb site. You list your property on the Airbnb site, and your license is coming any day. Don't, because you're going to get in trouble. Wait till the license comes. Forgetting to notify neighbors in 30 days. Don't. You definitely need to do that, because there's a lot of Karens out there that'll be calling on you. Skipping the $500,000 insurance. Don't, because you will need the insurance, especially the way sometimes if you get in a debate with someone who might be thrashed or expensive home, and you got to get insurance involved. Not posting the door notices. Don't. That's a safety issue. The city doesn't take it lightly, neither does the state. So that safety stuff you cannot skip on. That's a big one. And never use your home as for non-residential events, like catering parties or that kind of thing. So those are all big things. Now, before the Airbnb was a big thing, all this, we got away with a lot of this. I actually got married in 2008. That's how old I am. 2008 in Maui in Hawaii. And this is before Airbnb was even around. And I rented a house right on the beach, and it happened to be Don Nelson's house. He used to be a basketball player. He was the coach of the Golden State Warriors at the time. He was there when I checked in. That's why I knew it was his house. I asked, there were I think 8 of us staying in the house. We were having the wedding at the house because it was right on the beach. We had 40 guests coming, and he approved it and said, yeah, that's fine, 40 guests. Well, nowadays, I mean, back then, it wasn't a big deal. That stuff happened, and no one really, if we were super loud, the police would have came, but we weren't. But now, because this is such a business, they had to kind of tighten things up. And so that kind of stuff, it's almost rare, if impossible, if you could even have a house or a wedding at this big, beautiful house that you want to rent, because that's considered an event. And the Airbnb licensing now does not allow that. So these licensing are good and bad. Good, it keeps everything tight, but bad is it took the fun out of some of these big houses that could host big events, and they're far enough from neighbors. But this is what happens. Licensing comes in, it helps, but it hurts. So let me know what you think about that. Comment below. If you have an Airbnb or experience, I've heard a lot of crazy stories. And in real estate, I sell a lot of these. A lot of people are selling them now versus keeping them and renting them. Mainly maintenance is too much, because the houses just get too worn out. And also, it's just a pain. The management fees keep going up because of all this. There's just too many issues. I know people saying no pets, and they always see on their cameras, in the front cameras, pets come in. That's another thing. Can you have cameras? Can you not? That's another whole bag of worms, and the links below will show about that. Because if it's a service animal, you can't say no to a service animal. So there's lots of what ifs here. But at the end of the day, it's still a good business. You just got to keep to the rules and respect the neighbors. And for the neighbors, try and respect the guests that you have next door, if you like them or not. Anyways, I hope you like this video. I hope it helped. And if you could, subscribe to my channel because it helps me. And also, if you need any questions about Airbnb, short-term rentals, or any other real estate in Scottsdale, please feel free to reach out and contact me. All my information is below, my email, my phone number, all that. And always make it a great Scottsdale buying and selling day. Thanks.